We'll look at what's sold, what's been listed. We'll go from high to low, and look out for those bolos. Or look for the show you what you should be looking out for when it comes to computer mice.
I found a stack of records in my attic today. An Elvis picture disc and Kenny's big old hay. Put them up on eBay for the day was done. Watch the bids roll in till the morning sun.
Welcome everyone to the video. Welcome to the channel. Today's gonna be the Thursday what sold video, but we're changing things up just a little bit. First, like the video, hit the thumbs up, subscribe, comment down below. Let me know what you think of the changes. I'm going to add a segment in here where we kind of do a little deep dive into, things on eBay, how to look items up, what items are going for, like what are the high-end items you should be looking at in specific categories. And today we're looking at computer mice because I like computer mice and I collect computer mice. And so we'll be doing a little deep dive into that. You may hear me because I'm breaking it up. I'm filming it at different parts of the day. Like today, I filmed the middle section, which is going to be the deep dive. I filmed that earlier today, so it may, I may make reference to that, or it may sound kind of odd, like it doesn't match up. But just know that I'm filming them in different parts of the day. So, um, I may film them, on different days, so just and then add them in as I create the videos. So just be aware of that, and let me know what you think down in the comments. Let me know if this helps, if you enjoy it. We're still going to do the what sold at the end. I'll put chapters in so that way you can jump to them pretty quickly if you just want to skip over certain parts. But let's see here. What's today's Tuesday? Today's Tuesday. No, today's Wednesday. It is still a hot day. We're on the third day of a heat wave here. And let me make sure I silence my notifications. Third day of a heat wave. So this thing is Phil. It's my eBay cut. I got one of my trips over to eBay or what eBay event. I think it was at they had a little employee uh they basically had me go talk to some employees, some people they had coming in, and I got a bunch of free gifts and all that. I think this is the one I got from that time. But as you can hear, it is full of tiny ice. I'm just getting my notes ready because I just created a few little notes here. It's full of tiny little ice. It completely filled. I think I got it up to here because it is so hot. And I think it's like 93 or something like that right now, which is, we can't take it. Anything in the 90s, we're done. Tomorrow, we're dropping back down to normal. It's going to be like I think a 12 or 13 or 14 degree drop come tomorrow. So can't wait for that. But actually, if I have my, I'm in the garage. So the garage is insulated and it's okay. It's not like unbearable, but I'd rather be inside, which is where the AC is. So, although I do have a cool little Dyson fan out here that, does pretty well. One that I found at the flea market, by the way. If I were to resell it, it's like 350 bucks. Where's my mouse at? Okay. So just real quick, few talking points before, I cut to the next segment. Um, what was going on today? Oh, yes. Okay. So, we have a couple of things I wanted to bring up, basically all regarding investing or economics, whatever. We had the Fed announcement today. They're going to drop the interest rate by 25 basis points. And what does that mean exactly? That means it's going to, the interest rate is what? What's the interest rate right now? I don't even know. I didn't even look that up. Let's look it up right now. What is the interest rate right now? Of course, it's giving me all kinds of data I don't need. All right, either way. So what that translates to is a 0.25% drop. 0.25. So when they say 25 basis points, that translates to 0.25%. So many people were thinking it would be more, it'd be a bit higher based on recent numbers that are coming in. There may be additional drops. It could be just a drop for right now. Then next month we could see another drop of 25 basis points or 0.25%. Um, we shall see what happens. They're going to kind of. I watched the speech and everything. A lot of fluff. A lot of with all these things. There's so much fluff. Like let's just. I remember I had a teacher way back freshman year in high school, and he goes, "I don't want." They told us, I don't want like 3, 4 pages, 5-page essays. Just get straight to the point. Don't like give me, don't give me the runaround. I believe I remember correctly, it said, don't give me the runaround. Just cut straight to the point. If it's gonna be one page, it's gonna be one page. Don't like go dancing around the subject. And that's what they do. They just they talk. And all we want is just give us what you're gonna do. That's it. Um, and so, it kinda sounds like they're gonna take it month by month right now and see how things go with the 0.25%. Many people think it's not enough. Many people think it's, we shouldn't have dropped it all, but, you know, I think the majority consensus is we should be lowering interest rates based on not just the recent data, but the revision of all the data, the jobs report, inflation report. Because by the time like the data now gets all the current data we're receiving now, by the time it gets revised, which will be like in a few months, it could look even worse come revision. Um, but I don't know. It's more feeling than anything. It just feel like things are okay, but are kind of teetering, and it really it comes down to tariffs, and I definitely feel that if the tariffs weren't here, we wouldn't be in the situation we're in right now. I do understand why tariffs are there. I discussed this many videos ago. I believe the tariffs were so outrageous because the administration wanted lower interest rate. They were trying to force the hand, not necessarily punish, other countries or businesses or anything like that, but to kind of force the hand of the Fed to lower interest rates. And then we had just this long drawn out process to where now they're finally dropping interest rates, probably not really as much as they wanted, but um, I don't think the Fed really wanted to drop interest rates, but they kind of have no choice now. We also have, the tariffs going through the court system right now. I think we're on the last leg. I think we're on to the Supreme Court now. I'm pretty sure if I remember correctly, where we'll get a final decision. Are they in play or are they not in play? And if they're not in play, great. But that could also spell additional trouble because then they would have to refund all these people that paid tariffs. I don't think the de minimis rule, which I had a bigger impact on people than I don't think many people are talking about it, and I think it's having a bigger impact than people realize, especially on small business. Um, I don't think the tariffs are really going to be that big of a hit. I mean, it was going to be big, but it wasn't going to be that big of a hit. I think the de minimis rule is even bigger, but I don't think that if for some reason the courts finally rule that it's illegal for these tariffs, I don't think that would affect the de minimis rule. I don't think that would come back. I don't know. I do hope it comes back in some sort of a different form. Maybe $800 is a little bit too much. Maybe we can cut it back. I heard, I don't know for certain, 'cause I didn't look this up. I heard that Canada, I think, has a low one. It's very low. It's like sub $30 or something like that. I think. I didn't do any research on it, so I don't know 100% on that. But other countries, have something similar, but it's a lot lower. It's not in near $800. So maybe if, they drop it down, I don't know. We will see. That's all to come in the future. Um, but that's the news there. Another interesting thing going on. This is diving into the AI sector of things, and not really AI related to reselling. This is more like AI and its future. The so Nvidia. yeah, I talked about NVIDIA. They make graphics cards, and their graphics cards were very, very good. Are very, very good at AI, and they're just they're beasts when it comes to computing. Probably they are the best. Essentially, they are the best. That's why everybody wants their chips, their graphics cards to put them into these supercomputers to help train AI. Now, there's a company out there called CoreWeave. There's other companies too, but there's a primary one that you hear a lot in the news is CoreWeave, and they work together with NVIDIA. They basically buy NVIDIA chips, and they have these supercomputers, and they rent time out on those supercomputers to people. Well, um, everybody's saying AI. AI is the next big thing. AI is this is huge. AI is everywhere. AI is taking over the world. AI is doing this. It's doing that. So you might be thinking like, oh, AI is everywhere. AI is the big deal. AI is going to be, um, saying AI too much. That everything, everybody's using AI and it's using 24/7. So, we need more computers to compute AI, to train AI. Well, for we which is, yeah, I'm not sure if it is the biggest or one of the biggest that is doing this, renting out space like this, renting out space on, on their computers. But they recently had to rely on NVIDIA to buy some of the time on there, which is kind of unusual because why would NVIDIA need? I mean, NVIDIA has their own, they're providing the chips, the hardware, basically, and I'm pretty sure that they gotta do AI, training and all that as well. But why would they have to buy time back on their own hardware? It seems kind of, but they don't. Yes, NVIDIA designs these chips, but they don't actually produce these chips. They design them and everything, and then there's another company called TSMC, Taiwan Semiconductor, that actually produces the actual chips, and then there's other companies that actually produce the boards that the chips go on, so you can plug them into your computer. Um, but NVIDIA and CoreWeave, and I'm not sure if another company, I think there is another one, but I'm not 100% sure. They kind of have this partnership and this symbiotic relationship. And so NVIDIA is kind like there's some unused time. You would think with so much AI talk that there wouldn't be any, everybody would want time on these supercomputers. Everybody wants time for their AI projects, whatever they're doing on these supercomputers. There's other things you can do with them, but the big thing right now is AI, of course. And everyone knows my opinions on AI already. I've talked about it already many times. I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole or that tangent, but you would think with so much that's going on that they would have sold all the time, that all these companies that have time available on these supercomputers to train AI models, that they would have no time available just on all the talk and all the news that's going around. But they have time. And that's kind of not, m- maybe things are slowing down in the AI space, or maybe AI isn't as, the news is just constantly, hitting us with it, that it might not be as big or as, in demand as we maybe have led to as we have been led to believe. So it's just something I was just getting down in the weeds this week about that, and just kind of interesting that Nvidia has to buy this time from CoreWeave. Not something that's unusual or out of the ordinary, but it just sounds like, and the way it sounds is that as if CoreWeave, the company, the company that is selling time on these supercomputers to primarily train AI, that they don't have enough, they don't have enough customers. So that's kind of odd and kind of interesting, and just something to be aware of and keep your eye out for if you're interested in that stuff. I know this is primarily a reselling channel. We resell on eBay. I really like, since I switched my camera, I really like the look of this camera. I don't know, I think it works better. Like I'm looking at myself on the screen right now, and I think it just looks better. Like the background doesn't come through as much, maybe sometimes around my arms. but I kind of like it. I kind of like it, and I'm glad I switched. So hot. Okay, let's get to the what's sold. Actually, no what? Ye- the next segment is going to be the deep dive on computer mice, and then right after that will be the what's sold. Okay, welcome to the deep dive section here. I got eBay up already. We're going to go ahead and look at computer mice. We'll look at what's sold, what's been listed. We'll go from high to low, and look out for those bolos, or look for the, show you what you should be looking out for when it comes to computer mice. I sell a wide range of computer mice. Most of the computer mice I sell sit around the $15-ish range. Um, Sometimes I get some, really good ones, and they're 50, 60, 70, 80 to $100. I've shown mice on here that, on my channel, that you can get quite a bit of money for. Um, but there are all kinds of different mice, and, I'm not necessarily gonna find them all. I'm not gonna find all the good ones out there, all the most expensive ones, but so that's why, we'll look on eBay and see what comes up here. So, let me go ahead and open up the app. You'll see my mouse move around. As you can see, I was already starting to do a little bit of lookup here. So computer mouse, that's how we're gonna search for this right now. You could do, like, gaming mouse, you could do, if you just do mouse, it's not really gonna give you, it might give you mice. You could narrow the category down, um, but for the most part, you're gonna find computer mouse, or, PC mouse or Mac mouse. But computer mouse is a great place to start here. Let's go ahead and jump into that. Okay, now it's gonna give you look at this, 110,000 results, okay? So it can be a little, and this is just listed right now, so we're just looking at listed. It can be a little, you're looking at it, you're like, "Oh, man, well, where do we go from here now?" Well, we're gonna go ahead and, narrow this down, and you can do this on the app. You can, go through categories, select exactly what you wanna see. Do you wanna see just wired ones? You wanna see USB ones, Bluetooth ones? PS2, that's an old style connector. I still sell them. I still sell computer mice, computer keyboards with the old school PS2 connector. Although it's really being phased out. I actually pulled this out here for the video. This is an adapter, so it's a USB adapter, and then you can plug in. The purple is for a keyboard, and the green is for a mouse. So, and that's what it. If you can see what it kind of looks like, so you can get those on Amazon. Okay, but we're gonna narrow our search down. We're not gonna we're gonna look at all of them, wireless, wired, USB. We'll look at all of them and see what comes up. We won't necessarily, break it down to brand, because we want to see all of them out there, all that are out there. Then we're just gonna come all the way down. We're not gonna select any of these. What I'm gonna do is, first is, let's look at, we primarily deal with used, so we'll select used. Okay, we'll select used, so that's changing the search now, or changing our results right now. And I'm going to narrow it down just to US. I primarily do this on, when I'm looking up any comps. I don't know. I find that when you have outside of the US, it can get really, the waters get muddled. And then you start to get, yeah, and I think that's the problem that a lot of people, when you hear eBay search is messed up, eBay search is messed up, you always hear eBay search is broken. It's broken today. It's broken now. It's broken forever. And I really think a lot of that has to do with people not really narrowing down their search. They're just kind of just putting in, like, if you were to search a mouse, and it's like, it's giving me, cat toys. I'm like, well, I don't want cat toys. I want mice for keyboard. I want a mouse for a keyboard. I put in mouse, you give me a mouse for a keyboard. Well, you got to narrow that search down. You really got to narrow it down. You can't just put in mouse, because it's going to give you all kinds of stuff associated with mouse. And the same is true here. I think a lot of stuff overseas really, really, I don't think it gives you the correct data, from overseas, and then you're looking at, pricing, to do the, you might be looking at pounds or euros or anything like that. So let's go ahead and just narrow that down to a US search only. And as you can see, it's really starting to thin out here. We have 28,000 now. And let's keep going here. So we have used. We're looking at US only. You could do North America as well too, but I always just do US. We don't really need to see anything, with the shipping. We'll come back to the, we'll come back to the what's listed. Let's just see what's sold because this is going to be. So I'm going to click on sold and completed, not necessarily just completed because it could be completed and not sold. So something you have to be aware of. Okay, now this is the most recent. So we're looking at the most recent data of what has sold. I sell a lot of Apple keyboards, Apple mice, primarily the wired mice is what I primarily sell. I don't get too many of the wireless ones, but the wireless ones do really well. And as you can see, right off the bat, what this one right here, I'm not sure why it's giving me that August 25th one. That's not the most recent. As this is the most recent, the day of me filming this here. As you can see, we have the keyboard. This is the smaller keyboard, and we also have the track pad right here. And we also have, it looks like a wireless mouse as well too, which is why they're getting 74.50 for the whole package. And we also have free delivery on this as well too. So something to keep in mind when you are looking up comps on anything, check what the shipping cost is. Because for this type of package, you could probably get this. It's probably maybe close to a pound, maybe a little bit under a pound to ship this out. So you're probably looking, somewhere around the $8 to $9 range. That's always after that's whenever I say the shipping cost, that's with the eBay discount. I pass on the eBay discount. I think it definitely gives me an advantage in sales. And you can do what you wish. But I like to pass that discount on. And then as you can see, look, the first 3 are dominated by Apple. Well, I shouldn't say the first 3. The first 2 right here are dominated by Apple and, Apple product. Everybody, a lot of people use Apple products. Apple has really done a great job of creating an ecosystem for they're not necessarily the best products. They're not necessarily the best and the greatest, the latest, the most, bleeding edge, but they've created an amazing ecosystem and, all their products work seamlessly with each other. So this whole package right here, this is a bit of an older trackpad. This is a bit of a newer trackpad here, which is why they're getting a little bit more for that. And again, these right here, I've sold these ones before. They're really, really, actually really nicely made. A very, very great, solid little product here. And $74 again with the free shipping. So with this type of product, this will probably fall around the 10-ounce range. So you're looking probably more around $6 shipping. So always take that into consideration when you're reading these, you're looking at this. Look to see what they're if they are charging for delivery, because you might have to subtract that out to get the actual what it actually sold for, or what you can actually get for it if you are charging shipping. That is, and I definitely recommend charging shipping. And as you can see, like the first few, you got free shipping, you got free shipping. Um, like right here, this one right here, this is, at the minimum is going to cost about $4 and maybe 80 cents to ship this out. So you've immediately wiped out almost half. If you're selling for $10, so you should have paid, less than a dollar. In my opinion, you should have paid less than $1 for this type of a product if you're going to sell it for 9.99 and not charge any shipping on that. And as you can see, look at manual track pads. This is an older one. That's why this one is 74.99. Make sure to check the model numbers. They are on the back of electronics. Pretty much most of them always have model numbers on them, especially Apple. So definitely keep an eye on those. You don't want to get these mixed up because as you can see, $75, or let's just say, you know, like $65 or so. It's probably more like somewhere around $65, probably a little bit more than that after you subtract the shipping. So it's a little bit of older model, still sells really well. I mean, as you can see, 20 bucks. They actually charge shipping. So we have $8.19. I think that is with the discount. They might be, my guess is they're probably, when they listed the item, they listed it for £1. Because that looks like a £1 with the shipping discount type of charge. So they got, in total, they probably got over with tax and everything over $30 for this item is what it sold for, is what the buyer paid for that. And then you have down here, you have your Logitech wireless mice, your MX series is a really great series from Logitech, sells incredibly well. There are some that do go for quite a bit more. And then these are like they're more for laptop style, a little bit smaller. Okay, so and then we have some mice. This is a mouse accessory. What it does is it holds the cable up. It's not very common. It's more associated with like tournament, like gaming tournaments and all that. So that way there's no drag on the cord. You really want it plugged in for tournaments because the delay, if there's a delay, and even though, I'm using the wireless mouse and it looks like it's responding almost instantaneously, but there is a delay. If you have it plugged in directly to the computer, you really, really shorten that delay. So when you're in competition, everything counts, and so they use these little. It basically just raises the cord, your USB cord, up off the desk or desktop or wherever you're playing on, so it doesn't drag on there. Every little advantage possible. Okay, this is a really good MX mouse. I'm kind of actually surprised they got. I'd have to look up this exact model. Might be a little bit of an older one. 26.99 seems a bit low, in my opinion. It could perhaps. Oh, here's this one here. This one actually came in at $15. Yeah, we'll do a little bit of a deep dive. Actually, let's just do a little bit of a deep dive on this really quick. Because in my opinion, that's kind of a bit low. This is where I have this one. It's a really good mouse, this one right here. Um, and these ones, I think this one looks like this is this one. Yeah, I'm pretty sure these two are the same. And these ones, I sell these ones all the time. I got a whole bunch of these from the bins the other day. But this one I believe is a more modern. Let's take a look at this. Let's jump into this because I feel it's a bit low. Let me open up another window here. Oh, we have with Fed rates. The Fed rates. eBay. Okay, let's go down. Where are we going? We're going to eBay here. And let's just. Oh, what the heck happened here? I'm not used to Microsoft Edge, but I'm using it because the reason why I'm using Microsoft Edge is because I have all my information in Chrome and my search history and all that, and I don't want it to mess up my my search history. Start giving me recommendations of things that I'm not really looking for. So decided to come over here. All right, let's just type it in. Oops. Okay, we got a little bit more of a deep dive here. So we have Logitech MX Master 3. So Logitech MX Master 3. MX. See, I messed that up. MX Master 3. Okay, so we want to make sure we're in the mice and trackball section there. I don't think I did that when I initially did this, right? Did I? Follow it. Yeah, we're in the right category. Okay, well, that's cool. Yeah. So we got 1,000 results, and we wanted to just look at. Let's just narrow it down. Quickly narrow it down. Sold. Make sure we get like I said, the isolate USA. It might give us I'm gonna make sure use is selected. And there we go. And okay, maybe I made correct. I haven't sold one of these in a while. It is a newer model than the other ones I showed you. But there's even a newer one than this. Okay, so it has come down in price. So, so that's why you got to constantly be looking things up, researching items when you see them. Not necessarily, uh, if I found this for like 3, 4, 5, $6 or so, I'd probably be picking it up, and I'd still be fine selling it at the price that's currently going for. Once it starts to go up over $10, then I'll start to do double check. I'll start to like, all right, let me just double check. Let me make sure. And, 'cause I'm paying $10. I just want to double check and make sure that the market hasn't changed on this item because the market can change on these items. So it looks like the other color goes for a bit more. The black or dark gray color, whatever you want to call it, seems to go for a bit more. We have the what is it, 3S version, which seems to be go for a little bit more. Not really 100% sure. As you can see, look, here's one here for $52, $56. See, this is more or less where I thought it would fall. It could also be, it could also be the fact that let's go back to that one. Uh, I know started itching right now. Okay, unselect. It could also be like the buyer himself. But let's go into, let's just look at the original listing. And it could also be the fact that, as you can see, this person doesn't really sell too much. They might have just priced it to move it. There could be other defects along with it. This one doesn't need a dongle necessarily. It'd be nice to have a dongle with it, but this version you can connect. There's a unifying dongle for all these, and I believe these are also Bluetooth as well too. Could be that they have a low feedback, so they couldn't necessarily command that higher price. They're trying to compete, so they're going to try to come in as low as possible. So definitely, these are all things to consider when you are comping or looking for comparables for your item. Okay, that was a little interesting deep dive, a little bit, went off a little sidetrack, a little tangent there. But let's go ahead and I don't want to make this piece too long, or this section of the video too long. Okay, so where are we all set up here? We have we're in the right category: mice, trackball, and touch pads. We have the use selected. We have all listings. We have US, and we have sold and completed select. Okay, so let's go ahead and highest first plus shipping. So price plus shipping, and what goes for the high? What? $2,000. Well, okay. So it's $2,500, but this is a lot, as you can see. It's a lot of, not a lot of item. It's a giant, it's a bunch of them, basically. 917. So you have 917 Logitech M585. So typically not really a great mouse, but if you can get it in this kind of a quantity, that's pretty wild. Another bulk order here. Hands-free. Is this the what is this? Hands-free mouse? Kind of unsure of that. I just want regular mice. Do we have to look at lots? Maybe we do have to look at lots. So that, I mean, well, obviously it makes sense that a lot would go for quite a bit of money, especially look at all these Apple mice and all that. Let's just get down to here we go. Let's see. Okay. So we have this, oh man, $525 for a final mouse. I've heard of these, but I've never actually looked them up to see what they go for. But let's go ahead and dive a little deeper. I should have just left that window open. I don't even know why I closed it. Uh, Let's okay. Let's look this up. Final mouse Starlight, and we'll do a little bit of a deep dive here. And let's just see. And really too, we're just double checking, like $525. That could be some sort of a weird outlier. It could be, it could be the fact that, the design of it, like a lot of these, some of these do have collabs with games. And I know there's one I would like to have. It's a Razer Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic variant that I would like, but it goes for quite a bit. And we'll look it up, and we'll see if I look it up here. And the holes here in the mouse, they add to the lightweightness of a mouse. Some people like for competition, you want that lightweight mouse. You really don't want a super heavy mouse. Well, some people do like heavy mice too. It's really just a comfort thing. Let me just let's narrow this down to sold, and let's just look at. Now there are all kinds of knockoffs of these on Amazon, so definitely something to be aware of. Let's go to used. And okay, yeah, I mean, that one, this one right here could be, the Hades medium uh prophecy. This one just could be a really cool variant that is desirable. Yeah, a King of the Dead, Final Mouse. So that's really cool. So so let's just put, so this guy's the box and everything. But if you actually look at the actual picture here, you'll see it says Final Mouse. So definitely keep your eye out for them. Don't just go according to the design. Really nice. A really cool design too, the Swiss cheese look. So these do go for quite a bit. So I can definitely see that one maybe. Oh, here's one. No, it's Poseidon medium. Has to be because of that variant that they have. And the packaging too. The packaging, sometimes you can get a little more of a premium, even though it really doesn't make a difference, at least to me, if you have the original packaging for that. So that's pretty cool. Definitely. So final mouse, definitely something to look out for. Look for that Swiss cheese look. It should be super light. So it might not feel very premium. We definitely associate weight with more premium product. This will be a super light mouse. And be cautious not to just go according to the design. Look on the bottom, check the model number, make sure it says final mouse on it. First and foremost, make sure it says final mouse on it. And then Google image will definitely be your friend here as well to be able to identify the actual type of mouse you're looking for. And hopefully I'll give you an eBay listing for that as well too. We have another lot here. We have a Razer Viper Mini. Now I'm familiar with the Razer Viper series. They are really great mice, but why is this thing? Oh, this is also got like that Swiss cheese kind of frame look right there. Open frame. Let's just take a look at this really quick. Let's do a little bit deep dive really quick. And before you know it, this becomes second nature for most people, looking stuff up and being able to identify, what, you should be able to pay for an item. Is it worth it? Is it not worth it? But yeah, here we go. And as you can see, this is another one with all the cutouts. Boom, boom, boom. Look at that. No. So definitely something to keep your eye out for. If you see mice with all these little holes in it, then you know you got something. And again, if you get a big lot of apple mice, pick them up. Look at that. I mean, big old lot. This is 20 for $500. Um, and they're not gonna, so they did free delivery on this, and that's because each individual mouse is one of these wireless ones, maybe 4 ounces, maybe 5 ounces with packaging. So, it's not gonna be that much when it comes to the shipping cost, and you can get these packaged in a nice little box as well too. So if you're gonna be selling them for $500, then I can see the free shipping. So really, really cool. And then as you can see, we're dominated by these Razer. This is actually a computer. That's not that's not, I don't know what's good. They probably put a mouse in there somewhere. Final mouse. So we're being dominated by the final mouse and these Viper series. Let's see how, if we can get a little bit lower here and get, to more. Oh, this is a really good mouse. I used to have this mouse actually. This is a really good one. I really like this mouse as well too. So it's Logitech G700. Dang, is it really going for $300 now? I actually, I might actually still have this mouse somewhere in my storage area. This was a killer mouse. I use this to play MMOs or mass multiplayer PC games. I used it primarily for Knights of the Old Republic, it's a Star Wars game. And one of the cool things about it, I love the ergonomic design on this. And you can attach different tasks to all these different buttons on here. And so when you're playing these games, some of these games, PC games, you need one button to do, fire lightning or something like that, as opposed to a combination of buttons. So you can just assign it to one button. But let's just quickly do a little deep dive on this really quick because, yeah, I'm curious now. I do believe you will need a dongle for this one. I don't think this is definitely not Bluetooth, and I don't think it uses the Logitech unifying receiver. Uh, 44, 62. That's interesting. So we got okay. 90. So it still goes for quite a bit. Um, that's brand new. So that's brand new. You can't, yeah, of course. It's gonna be quite a bit if you can get it brand new unused. Well, what was up with this one then? 299. That's kind of strange. Logitech, is it brand new? It's used, out of stock. Used item? See, these are the things you gotta be aware of, and you don't wanna be like, "Okay, I got this mouse. Oh, I see it $299. I'm gonna price it at $299." Or what was it, 279? Either way, it's more or less. Yeah, I was I'm unsure. I don't know. We're bidding on, maybe it was for a lot. I mean, was it two? I don't think it was two. And these ones up here, let's see. Let's just look at let's look at this one here. Yeah, I mean, that is the exact same mouse. Yeah. I really have 30 Logitech wireless stock. My guess, and it doesn't have the line crossed through it. If it had the line crossed through it, that would mean they took a offer. Hmm. So I really don't know. Look, this is a fairly large store. It does come with a dongle. Maybe these don't have the dongle. I think I saw one with a dongle though. Yeah, this one's with a dongle. It's the same mouse. Looks a little bit different. Well, is it the same mouse? Has a little bit of a different design on the thing, but this one here, this says with dongle. Hmm. Yeah, so the price of this mouse, not this, there's one with an S on the end. The one without the S, it looks like it's probably gonna be more around maybe the 50 to $60 range. There's one for 69.99. So obviously we find it brand new. I think brand new you can command that kind of a price, but yeah, I don't know. If you see anything in this listing that tells you why, I mean, we are in the sold comps. What's this tab? Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, we are sold. Sometimes there are these weird outliers, so you definitely have to be aware of it. Make sure, double check the model number, double check. Um, it's not a weird variant of any kind, so it is still a cool mouse, but yeah, that's pretty bizarre to me. Really have no idea why that would have gone for that much. Um, yeah, I'm a little baffled by it, but it's not. And like I said, it's more or less like I showed you over here on this. What is it? This one now, right over here. Like these comps are more in line with what it should go for. That is just a crazy outlier. So, uh, yeah. So crazy, crazy, crazy. And so as you can see, mice can go for quite a bit of money here. Let's look for a little trackball mouse because those ones always do pretty well. And I don't want this to get too long either. Okay, so we could take mouse out of this because if anybody's putting this in, they're gonna say trackball. And typically it's all one word. And here we go for the trackball mice. Okay, if you okay, here we go. These ones definitely command more, brand new. They command for up over $100, brand new. But let's look at used because that's what we're primarily going to be finding out there in the world. If you find them new, amazing, and just know that you can get more for them. Okay, this is oh, I've been talking about this. I have been talking about these mice like this right here, like this style of mouse here. There's a brand out there, not this one specifically. This one's okay, but there's a brand which is this one right here, Ploopy, that has been making these for people that like them, like me, the people that enjoy that design. I haven't had the opportunity to try one of these, so I'm definitely kept my eye out to see if I can find them. But as you can see, look, up over $100. They're really, really cool mice. If you are familiar with this old classic design, it was from Microsoft, Logitech. You can order these online. Really, really cool. And they're wireless too. So that's really cool. So if you find this brand, Just know it could be up over $100. If you see anything similar to this design, it will do really well. As you can see, 2 buttons on the side, these are a front and back button, and then your left and right click and your scroll wheel on this side with the trackball forward where you use your 2 fingers there. That's a design that's just a classic design. Even knockoff designs of that do really well. But definitely keep your eye out for this Poopy, I think I'm pronouncing it right. Are we're still looking at the highest. Okay, cool. So as you can see, this is started these were actually this is a fairly new company, so, definitely something to keep your eye out for. Vintage track mice do incredibly well, as you can see here. Look at these ones. These are really, really cool. That's really, really cool. I really like that mouse. The issue might be the connector with this type of a mouse. I'm not sure what this would use. Let me see. Do they have a picture of it? It says 8-pin. Oh, okay. That's an even more that's not a PS2 connector. I forget what the name of that connector is, but that's another type of connector. If I'm not mistaken, there was a Sun mouse that used that, the Sun Microsystems. Really, really cool though. I'm pretty sure there's an adapter for that as well, somewhere on Amazon. Alexa Pro, something I'm not familiar with at all. My speakers went off. Something I'm not really familiar with at all, but, that looks pretty cool. Let's see here. Oh, wow, that is a really cool mount, but why it has the old ball right here, before, um, you know, our, normal tracking we rely on nowadays. That is interesting. I'm kinda curious. Let's just see really quick. Oh, drug rep, that's why. So, if I'm not mistaken, a lot of companies there's another one, but that's listed though. And it has 19 watchers. Watchers don't really mean too much. I mean, solds don't really matter, but drug companies, I know like a lot of drug companies, prescription companies that they cannot promote. I've only heard of pens and pencils. I don't know if it applies to everything. So it's definitely something to keep your eye out for. Especially, like these well-named, like these pharmaceutical companies and these drugs, these that are on TV with these catchy jingles, can do really well. So definitely something to keep your eye out for. I think that is why, because this looks like a generic mouse to me. But I think that's the reason why. So definitely something to keep your eye out for. And comp out. I really not too familiar with it, but I've just heard about it. I haven't found anything out in the wild, so if I do, I'll report back. But here, this trackman is I severely dislike this mouse. I can't stand this mouse. When I find them, I sell them. Obviously this is a pre-owned. It has the box still, which is why I got a little bit more. I think the one I sold was closer to $40. Um, so really, really cool. Definitely one to keep your eye out for. Sells all the time. Make sure it has the right ball. I don't have mine to show, like, because there's different variants of the in the ball, but if it fits in there, it should be the right one. Here's another one, another variant, the TrackMan. This is one you control with your thumb. Definitely one. You look at 6950. It's pretty good. Look at this one. Here's another one. Is this another one of those companies? Yeah. Real a sec. Okay. OTs. Okay. So maybe that ban on, these drug companies on advertising also applies to maybe it applies to everything that they brand. So that's very, very interesting. Learn something every single day. We're always learning here. Um, so yeah, if you can't see any of these mice, I've never seen anyone. I work in a hospital, so I work in a hospital one day a week. I've never come across these, although we can't receive gifts at the hospital. This is a really cool I actually have this mouse. It's in my collection. I will probably never get rid of it. But this one, as you can see, this uses the old PS2 connector as well too. So you gotta have that adapter I showed you earlier. So right around $50. So that's a pretty cool mouse. As you can see, we're dominated by these mice right here. They sell consistently that's a cool mouse right there. And they sell consistently all the time. Look at that. Here's another one. Look at it. Oh my lord. See, look at it. Good thing I decided to do this video today. That's another one. This company, so what it is there must have been some generic company that produced these little novelty mice, and then the companies, these drug companies just slapped their name on it. It's kind of like those people talk about the Di Serono glasses. Um, they have this very unique design, but they're not necessarily Di Serono glasses. Yes, they're associated with Di Serono. First of all, tell me who in the world drinks Di Serono on the rocks or something like that, or needs a specific glass for drinking Di Serono. I don't know anybody. I can't tell you anybody that's like, oh, let me kick back with a little glass of Di Serono. Um, Yeah, somebody makes the glass and then companies can put whatever they want on it, or they can place an order with like Deneen. Deneen mugs, companies place an order with them to slap their emblem on it. So it's not, Pancake House mugs, they're Deneen mugs because that's the company that manufactures it, but they manufacture it for, well, I think they hand make them all. But either way, they produce them for a certain company. So those Di Serono glasses are produced by a certain company for Di Serono. So, going off on a wild tangent there. As you can see, dominated by these Logitech did a whole bunch of these trackball mice. They're really, really cool mice, and these are older ones too as well, and they're still constantly selling. We haven't even come up on any. I don't think I've seen any modern trackball mice that Logitech makes, like that dumb little. There it is, right here. This one right here. I can't stand this mouse. It's such an annoying mouse. I hate it. Oh, there it is right there. Look, $25. Why did this one go for lower? Maybe they just priced it too low, or maybe there was something wrong with it. So as you can see, though, it goes for more money. And this person right here, I bet this Aflac one could have got quite a bit more than that. And as you can see, they put it on bids. And we already saw a couple go for quite a bit. And Aflac has been, that's pretty iconic commercial. So really, really cool stuff. As you can see, mice sell all the time. And there's even weird outliers like these little mice, things to be on the lookout for. So, okay, let me know what you think of this little segment of my video. And there will be chapters in here too. So let's get over to the what sold. Okay, I hope everybody enjoyed that little segment there. And let me know in the comments, what you think. Should I continue it? Should I not continue it? I was just trying to think of other things I can add, what I can add value to these videos and provide my expertise to people out there, and how to look up items, what to look up, what to look out for, because, and I try to do that in my thrifting videos, what you should be buying, what you should be looking out for, look at this piece here and there. It's just another way to look at that. Okay, but let's go ahead and bring up the what sold. Let me just get set here. Where's my license? Oh, I'm backwards. It's all backwards. Okay. Okay, so this is a Bath and Body Works. Now, it's a wallflower is what it is. Plug-in, obviously because Halloween. It's like a really cool coffin. And Bath and Body Works, like I've said on many, many occasions, a lot of their products, they are here. They only have you have some that stick around year round all the time. Some fragrances, some wall plugins, candle holders, candles that are just all the time. But some of them they only bring out for certain times of the year, and then they go into retirement. So this wall plugin, you might never see this wall plugin again. So what happens when there's a scarcity of something and then people start to, prices go up in it. People look for it. Hopefully, if people are looking for it, prices will go up if there is demand for this type of item. And obviously, this is a pretty cool item. They're getting pretty with their like wall plugins, candle holders. They are, becoming more elaborate with those, and they are really, really cool. We have a really cool haunted house one plugged in right now that we really, really like. But this one here, there's actually, a bookstore wall plug-in like this that I really wanted, and they all sold out of them. I may end up buying it on eBay. I don't know. I'm not sure. But it's really, really cool. So, this one here was brand new sale, found it over at Savers, sold for $29.63. $6.30 is what they paid in shipping. This was a box, just because there is some, this right behind it is where you would put the fragrance, and it's not the, most sturdiest piece in the world if there's no fragrance in there. So I did put it in a box just to make sure it was nice and safe. And it's super lightweight, so it still came in under 10 ounces for the box. And 975 box is what I put it into. But it's still really cool. It's just super cool piece. I do believe this does light up, if I'm not mistaken. These little wall plugins are becoming, really, really intricate from Bath and Body Works. So definitely keep your eye out for Bath and Body Works products. Um, and, don't pay too much. I mean, there is, a scarcity in that, but that doesn't necessarily translate to higher prices. There still has to be a demand for it as well too. But just know that Bath and Body Works items, some of them, once they're there and they're gone for the season or they're gone for the year, they're gone forever. Let's see where we go. Okay. Now I sold two. I actually have quite a few things in this what sold. Three of them, two of them are kind of the same. Three of them are pretty much the same, except the design is different. And I wanted to show that in here just because of how quickly they sold. That'll be towards the end. So I did sell two computer coolers in quick succession of each other. I think within a 24-hour period, if I'm not mistaken. So this is for Intel. This is a generic or OEM. It comes with the actual CPU. So when you buy the CPU, it some of them, not all of them. Some of them come with a, cooling unit here. We call it a heat sink. It's essentially a fan over a little fin, a radiator, if you want to call it that, of aluminum. There's usually like a little copper piece that sits on top of the actual CPU that transfers the heat from the into the copper thing and the copper thing into the aluminum fins, and the fan blows down on it, cooling it down, and then keeps it cool. Just like a radiator. It's like a car. Think of a car radiator. Similar. Actually, there's one in here that even more similar to a car radiator. So it's just pulling the heat away from the CPU. And copper is an excellent conductor. Aluminum's a good conductor, but copper is a really good conductor. Silver is a really an even better conductor. But obviously, we start to get we're getting pretty pricey here in materials. So it's typically copper and aluminum. So really, really cool. Just an OEM one. If you find these really cheap, there are other older models as well too. Use Google Image. It'll help you tell you what is this LGA 1700 socket. That is the actual like name of the socket that this would fit. So you do have to know that, and Google Image will help you to find that out. And so really, really cool piece, and it sold for one in a 6x6x6 box. What did it sell for? It sold for, see, I'm going backwards here. $17.47. $10 is what they paid in shipping. So really cool piece here. Definitely keep your eye out. Don't pay too much for them. Don't pay too much. Oh, perfect. It was right after that. Okay, so this is more like car radiator. So you have this part here, which sits on the hot, the CPU, the hot part, and then it has it has a copper base, and this part there's fluid in there, and the fluid flows through these tubes into the radiator, and then there's a fan actually on the back end of this that blows air over it, cools it down, and the whole cycle repeats itself. So basically, you're just pulling the heat off of the heat source. And this is a very interesting one. This one sold for $59.42, $14.14 what they paid in shipping. 12, 10, 6 boxes is what this went into. And this was for a low profile type of system. So, you have your standard computers. I mean, everybody all the computers that, if you're in your office, something like that, they're getting smaller and smaller and smaller. And they still generate heat. And so this would be more for not one of those, but more for like a home theater system. You want some good performance. And one of the things with when you want good performance, there's going to be heat behind these things. And so you need a good, robust cooling solution, even in small form factors. Like your office computers, you really don't need too much. Just a fan and it probably has like a small little flat thin aluminum block on top of it. You really don't need that much computing for what you do at work. I mean, depending on what you do. I mean, if you're a graphic designer, yeah, you might need something a little bit more, a solution like this. If you're just, admin work, computer, Word documents, internet stuff like that, you really don't need too much of a significant cooling solution. But, they make all kinds of cooling solutions for every type of situation, and this is just a one, for a certain type of situation. You would obviously need a certain type of case for this to fit into. So it's really, really cool. It's a really cool and, sold really, really well. So low profile liquid cooler. And this was the Corsair Hydro series. So really, really cool. Speaking of another cool piece, Lord of the Rings. Who doesn't love Lord of the Rings? This was a brooch and or pendant and sterling silver, enamel and sterling silver. Really, really cool. This went for $75.90. $7.10 is what they paid in shipping. Small padded poly bag is what this went into. So really cool piece and really just in sterling silver, it's not really, just sterling silver. It's not even, not that much sterling silver either. Um, so as far as the value just in silver, not much, not $75.90. Really what sold it is the fact that it's Lord of the Rings. And that's about what it goes for, this type of piece here. And it was one I was gonna keep and put into my collection. The only problem is I prefer for it to just be a pendant. The back would come undone from time to time because I did try to wear it and I did try to, want to keep it, but I don't do brooches. And I don't really do pins in general. And the pin where I would wear it as a pendant, the pin would come undone. So I'm like, I can't do that. So I'm like, so the other day I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna list it and get it sold. I'm not gonna bother. We did pick this up at a flea market. Um, I was like, yeah, I'm not gonna, I have this stuff. It's gonna come undone and then poke me. So I ended up selling it. I was like, all right, cool. And I sold it. Very, very cool piece. It's a very cool piece. I really, really like it. I'm a huge Lord of the Rings fan. So I hope somebody does enjoy it because I wasn't really able to enjoy it. So hopefully somebody else will. This other phone I have here keeps on, I don't get it. And why this other phone keeps sending me notifications. I think it's district notifications, I think. It's an Apple phone. It's the only Apple phone I have. Did I repeat myself there? Let me check one thing here. Hopefully, I don't go backwards into last week's. Where am I at? Oh, here we go. Okay. All right. So this was really cool. And you might, if you watch my thrifting video, this was in a thrifting video just recently. I picked this up and sold it for, oh no, don't tell me I didn't put the, oh man, I didn't take a screenshot. Hold on. This is it's a Linksys. It's like $81 and some change. $81.98 is what it sold for. $15.27 is what they paid in shipping. 14, 10, 6 bucks is what this went into. So it's a switch. A very, very handy tool, not just for enterprise or for an office setting or work setting. These are very great at home. I use a couple of these here at my house. What they do is they basically expand your computer network. They allow you to connect more devices to your network, wired with an Ethernet cord. Um, and so what I have here at my house is I have everything separated out. I have a modem, so my cable, the cable internet comes into the modem. Then I have a router. Then that router goes off into a switch. And then the switch from there, the switch, I have several other devices connected to that switch, along with a wireless access point. Basically, it's a wireless router that only does the wireless part. That's it. It doesn't do anything else. And you'll notice a lot of businesses, companies, they have their network set up in this manner because it is the most reliable way to set it up. The more convenient thing is to go over to Costco, buy a router, and buy one of those router cable modem combos. So you plug your cable modem into it. It has a few plugs in the back for your wired devices, and then it sends out a wireless signal for you. So it does everything all in one. It does the routing, it does the switch, it does the wireless access point, it does the modem all in one unit. That's the most convenient, and then you put it in one place and that's it. But what happens? Everybody experiences this. And what's the first thing you do when you have internet problems? You call your internet provider and you're like, "Hey, I got problems." Turn it on and off. You have to. Unfortunately, why do you have to do that to these devices? Because they're like humans. They're just like us. Sometimes we need a reset. Sometimes you're having a bad day. You're like, you know what? I'm just gonna go to bed and I'll deal with that tomorrow. Same thing. They're just having a bad day. All the everything. They're doing too many jobs at once. And then it just kind of like, "Ow." It doesn't power down itself, but like it'll just like start glitching. It'll be like, "Oh yeah, I'm done with that part. I'm not going to do the wireless today. It's too much for me right now." That's basically what it's saying on the inside. So you got to go, "All right, well, take a nap then really quick, turn it on and off, and boom, it goes, everything works again." So back during, when we were all at home, locked down, I realized, okay, I need a rock solid, and I have advanced knowledge in computer networking. So I was like, I need a rock solid network at my house. And that's what I did. So I was like, all right, I built it out and they're golden. Yeah. I think I've only had it around, not counting when Xfinity had problems, but hardware issues. I think once at one time I had a weird, confusing. It still confuses me to this day. One of my wireless access points just stopped working for some reason, and it was odd. I had to change the name of that. So I have three wireless access, basically three wireless networks. So they're three different names. Yeah, a little crazy, right? You don't necessarily need three different names, but I do have that. Um, it's there are use cases for it, but so one of them just stopped working for some reason. But I was breaking my brain trying to figure out what the heck is wrong with this thing because nothing made sense. But then I changed the name, and it wasn't that there was another network in my area, like my next door neighbor or anything like that. They didn't have the same name as mine, but I had to change the name of it, and boom, it worked. It's like, that doesn't make any sense to me. Why would that work? And I tried, I went back to the old name and it didn't work. Went back to the new name worked. I'm like, I'm confused. Very, very strange. But either way, okay, I went off on a wild tangent there regarding these. Let's keep on moving. Let's keep on moving. Oh, and I thought this was the other thing I was gonna hold on. I didn't want to jump to this just yet, but either way. Okay, we'll go to this really quick. So I'm gonna go through these just really quick and then okay, so these are just pencil boxes, as you can see, with different compartments in it. So I have this one here, pretty generic, nothing, and these other ones are more, let's see. So this one here, like an animate style one, Doraemon, I don't know. I'm trying to get to the how much they sold for. Hold on. Where am I at? Here we go. So that first one I showed you was 12.89 is what it sold for, and these were all 7.10 on the shipping, and they all went in a padded poly bag. And then this one here sold for $10 even. And then this one here, the Disney one, this one sold for $21.49. But what is interesting and why I even bring this up here is because they all sold. 2 sold on one day and then 1 sold in the early morning. So almost, within a 12-hour period. They just all of a sudden all sold. Different people too, not even the same person. All this one actually went international. So I'm like, what the heck? Like all of a sudden, I'm like, what? All the pencil boxes just boom like that. And I've had this happen before where all of a sudden, like one specific thing, and but either they were either all the same or they were, a little bit different. Like these are all pencil boxes, but different designs. And all of a sudden, they just boom, 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 start selling like one after another, boom, boom. And this wasn't even built like one list. I didn't have one listing in multiple quantities. These were all separate listings. And I'm like, and school's already started. Yeah, these I'm pretty sure school started for everybody now at this point in the US at least. Um, I'm like, why all of a sudden these pencil boxes are all is something I don't know. I haven't heard anything. I get daily emails regarding Google Trends, what's trending on Google for that, day or that previous day. And I haven't seen or heard anything about these pencil boxes, but I remember these when I was a kid. I remember going to the Sanrio store when I was a kid at the mall. Of course, initially it was because I grew up with 4 sisters, and they loved this. They loved the Sanrio store, and they had I like stationery. And so they had a lot of cool stationery, and they had little robot eraser things you can build, and, they had other cool pencil boxes as well, and I like the different compartments, like the little hidden compartments on these things. And so so I thought that when I was young, they were cool. And are they making a resurgence? Is something going on that I'm unaware of? Or should we be picking up these pencil boxes now? I tend to pick them up when I do see them. If there are, yeah, as you can see, one for one for $10. So maybe I could have gone for more because there's something going on. There's some sort of trend going on. Maybe there's a TikTok trend happening with these things that's all of a sudden and their popularity suddenly took off. But let me know if you know anything about this. Let me know in the comments down below. But if I'm gonna do some research on it, and if I see that all of a sudden that they're becoming popular, I'll let you know, and I'll try to look for more. So this thing here was one I definitely wanted to show you. Nothing crazy here. This is not like we're not making a ton of money on this. It's not even real copper. It's sold for what is that? $9.10, $6.02 of what they paid in shipping. Small padded poly bag is what this went into. But this sold it within 4 hours of me listing it. I don't think I undersold it at all. It's a spoon, decorative spoon, which typically you would stay away from. Everybody would tell you don't pick these up unless they're sterling silver, of course. Um, but I picked this up in the bins, listed it, sold in less than a day. That's crazy. Was somebody out there looking for Citrus Tower, Claremont, Florida? I'm not even really sure exactly where that is in Florida. Do they have some sort of like little safari park there? I mean, 'cause there's elephant and I think some giraffe, I think, in the background. I don't know, but it just sold incredibly quick. I thought it was cool, and my initial thought was, "Hey, it's copper," but it wasn't copper. And I was like bummed out when it wasn't copper, and I was like, "All right, well, we'll get it sold. We'll sell it." And there's other stuff like there's photographs and things from this place, but no spoons. I don't know. Maybe people have been waiting for spoons. People have been waiting for their souvenir spoons to pop up, and I brought it to market, and it's sold. I have the only spoon from this place that's sold. So I don't know what to say about that, but it is cool. And again, it's just having that eye, that sixth sense of that you develop as a reseller, or as a seller, to be able to identify items that, you know what, I bet you I should probably pick that up because I think that can probably sell. I think I could definitely make money on that. And it's just there's something that just triggers and like, I better grab that. I better look at that. I better look that up. And this is one of them. And it's sold. Ah, all right. I think that's it. Yeah, I think that's it. Okay. That's the end of the video. Let me know what you think in the comments down below. Do you like the middle segment? I know the what's olds, I'm always going to do what's olds, but do you like the middle segment of this as well? Let me know in the comments down below. But thank you for watching and see you in the next video.
Hey, you've made it to the end. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this content, please like the video by hitting the thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel by hitting my little round icon down below. It really does help us out here. Also, you'll find a couple of selections. You'll see a playlist of videos to watch and my most recent video that I did upload.